everybody, as you can see we're on for another fragrance review, this being Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme Libre. Now L'Homme Libre is one of those fragrances where people have very mean things to say about it. Most people say it's synthetic, generic, doesn't last, doesn't project, etc., so on and so forth. But I have a little bit of a different take on this scent. So first and foremost, this fragrance was released in 2011, and it was created by my favorite perfumer, Olivier Polge. Now, Polge has done other fragrances such as Dior Homme, the original formulation, and Guerlain's Cure Beluga, as well as my favorite fragrance of all time, Midnight in Paris. So the guy does well for me, and most other people. He's kind of what we call a master. And his father, of course, is Jacques Polge from the House of Chanel. He does all of Chanel's in-house perfumer. So L'Homme Libre is the freedom or liberation of man, and it is supposed to be a free-spirited fragrance, kind of almost aquatic and fresh, and just resemble, feeling fresh and free. I think the marketing and the fragrance itself do provide that image. Here is the bottle. I have here the 3.4 ounce, and I think it's a very nice bottle. I like the blue stem, and a clear cap this time. With the L'Homme bottle, it's a silver cap, and with the La Nuit de L'Homme, this is what we got here for La Nuit de L'Homme, just to kind of show you that they kind of follow their themes with all their bottles. So I do like that. The sprayer is very nice on this bottle here. Nice sprayer. Here we go. Now, there's a long list of notes, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what I think it smells like. This fragrance is everything wrapped into one. Let me first say that I am a big fan of this scent. Okay, the thing that kind of annoys me is when I think of fragrance, I don't just think of it as art. There's certain scents that I go into it thinking, okay, this is going to be art, and there's certain scents I go into it thinking, okay, this is going to smell pleasant. You have to kind of separate the two. You can't go into every fragrance saying fragrance is art. You know what I mean? Fragrance is art, and there are certain fragrances that are meant to be artistic, and there's certain fragrances that are meant to make you smell nice. It's as simple as that. Not every single fragrance has to be a work of art. It's not going to be, Amouage Jubilation 25. It's not going to be a Bond Number 9 New Harlem or Frederic Malle Musk Ravageur. It's not going to be one of those. As much as I love the snobs that I see over at Base Notes complaining about, this fragrance just being a generic, boring piece of crap, basically, and saying that fragrance is art and blah, 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 cry me a river stuff, I have to go ahead and provide that, there are certain circumstances that you pull out certain fragrances. Am I wrong? I wear Le Labo Oud 27 sometimes, other times I do not. You have to separate the two. I'm sorry I had to throw that out in this video because this fragrance does get a lot of flack, and I'm gonna kind of compare this to another fragrance that gets a lot of flack as well. So L'Homme Libre, the notes. This is a fresh, spicy, aquatic, green fragrance. It is everything rolled into one. Is this fragrance for the connoisseur? I'm a connoisseur. I consider myself a connoisseur. I've bought $300 bottles and I've bought $20 bottles. I just consider myself a consumer. It doesn't really matter. If it smells good to me, I'm going to buy it. I don't care. I've said this before. If it's an Escada fragrance or if it's an Amouage fragrance. The stuff smells nice and I like it enough, I'll buy it. This scent has violet leaf. It is just, everything's kind of sent around this really nice, fresh violet leaf. The violet leaf does not, It kind of, in a way, reminds me of Fahrenheit, but it's Fahrenheit the Aqua version. Okay, so Fahrenheit Aqua is like grapefruit and violet leaf, pretty much for me, and this is like that version. It's not the oily, green version from. I don't want you to think that I'm comparing this to Fahrenheit because that's not the case. This violet leaf and this fragrance is very much a minty, sort of fruity violet with a dash of spice in there as well. Some basil, some coriander, some anise. Um, this note is not listed, but I do get geranium. One of the first things I noticed with this scent when I first tried it months and months ago, we're talking like maybe January, December, um, I noticed that the beginning, the opening, was fruity with violet, but I noticed like this little minty vibe going on. Not super pronounced, but it reminded me of the minty vibe, that really fresh, clean Gillette shaving cream minty vibe that I get from Platinum Egoist. And it's very much, and reminds me of even Frederick Mall's, what is that fragrance? Geranium Pour Monsieur. Um, the geranium note, and I do believe that geranium is a note in this fragrance that's just not listed. It could be their little hidden gem of the fragrance, but or something else in the fragrance is giving it that feel. I'm not sure, but that geranium, minty, fresh, invigorating, clean, sort of super clean smell is very pronounced at the beginning of this fragrance. So we have geranium, violet, a very nice synthetic fruit, and they say that it's bergamot. I'm not too sure if I'm going to follow that. It smells kind of like a some sort of something red, some sort of berry to me, and it's kind of toned down, mixed in with the greenness of the violet leaf, um, and it's very pleasant scent. I think it's very nice. Anybody can wear this stuff. It does not matter your age. It does not matter what you're doing. It is super versatile. The one thing I will say is people say all the time that this scent is not meant for the colder weather, but here in New York right now it's 40 degrees at nighttime. This thing's actually projecting very well um, when I go out and it's 40 degrees. So and granted, I'm talking like when I go to bonfires with some of my friends and stuff. I'm not talking about just going out to the bar or whatever and being inside all night because obviously it's not 40 degrees inside of the bar. But when I go to these bonfires or whatever, I've been to a few and worn this fragrance. It's done fine. And I'll say another thing. This lasts about 8+ hours on my skin, and I spray it on my shirt. I still don't understand this to this day. When people complain about a fragrance not lasting and they refuse to spray it on their shirt, it's not going to stain your clothes unless you're like this close to it, okay? I'm just throwing that out there. Um, you know, Millesime Imperial is a great example. People are always like, blah, 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 it doesn't last. And I say, did you try spraying it on your clothes? No? Well, there you go. Um, this fragrance reminds me of this guy right here. Now, granted, they don't smell the same, but it's the same genre of fragrance for me. Bleu de Chanel is one of my absolute favorite designer fragrances, and it's a heavier aquatic. It's like this, okay? A heavier aquatic that can be used in the fall and spring. Um, it's got some qualities that make it unique. The spicy. It's all these different things going on in a spicy, fresh, clean, very nice scent, I think. And I just don't understand why people complain about it so much. I think we should just kind of, you know, cut it some slack. You have to go into some of these fragrances understanding that they're not going to be, you know, the next best thing. This is not the next best thing. This is a very nice scent. This is something I would recommend to somebody that's buying one of their first bottles. If someone owned 3 bottles and asked me, hey Tim, what would you recommend for a nice fresh scent that I could wear in the fall? I would say this would be in the top 3 choices that I would pick. Um, This La Nuit de L'Homme and L'Homme, all three of those fragrances are really amazing to me. I love all three of them. Yves Saint Laurent does a great job. It's one of the best designer houses, and I really can't complain about the scent. I went into it kind of, you know, I didn't have high expectations. I didn't expect anything out of it, actually. As soon as I heard that there was like going to be this leather note in it, I was thinking, oh great, here we go, some freaking synthetic nasty ass shitty leather note. But I don't get any leather out of this scent at all. Like I say, it's a nice berry blended violet leaf with this geranium note and spices thrown in there. I think it's a lovely scent. Projection's good, longevity's good, versatility is skyrocket. I really cannot complain about the scent. The only thing I could ever even mention that I don't like about anything with this fragrance is the cap. I don't like that it's plastic, but I understand why they went with plastic is to resemble the Freedom, clean cut, whatever. Um, and obviously they're not going to spend the money to make it glass. So I really can't complain about anything with the scent for me. Just because certain people are claiming that it doesn't last long on their skin doesn't mean that it doesn't last long on my skin, because it lasts perfectly fine. Because people say it doesn't project well for them doesn't mean it doesn't project well for me, because it does. So I can't possibly give this fragrance a low rating. I can't. It's pleasant to me. It is generic in a way, but it's also different in a way. Um, it's a good scent. It's a well-rounded scent, and I would give it an 8 out of 10. One thing I will say about Yves Saint Laurent, this fragrance, well, the L'Homme line in general. So let's just go off the basic three fragrances that we've got going on that are main sellers. We're not including Frozen Cologne, and we're not including Cologne Gingembre. Um, Out of the three, La Nuit de L'Homme, and this, to me, to my nose, this right now is beating out this. I actually enjoy this better than La Nuit. I like L'Homme better than both, but this guy's kind of going to the back of the line for a little bit. L'Homme Libre to me is, actually it might be a bit of nostalgia too. It does remind me of a few good times that I had back in February, I believe, is when I first bought not this particular bottle, but the other bottle that I had. And there are memories attached to the fragrance, but the scent smells great overall. And I can't possibly say, like I say, I can't give it low marks for that. I hope you all enjoyed. This fragrance is very nice. I do recommend it for anybody that is just starting out. And I hope you all have a good one. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.